Uru, Iboya Bucheche. Everybody in Cyberland, it's your favorite Babalu. At least I hope so. Want to bring a special topic to you. Topic is Babalu Aye. I send out to my email and say, hey, give me a topic, something to talk about, something I can educate. Again, like I tell you people, like I tell everyone in Cyberland, the purpose is to teach. And when I teach, believe it or not, when you ask me questions and I answer them, I always gain a little bit more perspective based on your questions. This is my way of giving back. So that when Olofi sees me, he says, hey, my son is doing good things. And they bless me. They give me there. Because what better than to preach the good word, right or wrong? So my ile came up with Babalu Aye. Babalu Aye, my farafun, better known as San Lázaro to many. Okay. Very interesting story about Babalu Aye. Okay, and it has to do with an old doom for us in Ifa, Iretecana. Okay. Iretecana talks about disobedience. Okay. That was the flaw that Babalu Aye had. Okay. He was very disobedient to the words of Olofi. So Olofi punished him with sickness. And to the point where he was absorbing all the sickness of the land where he was in, that he was banished out. Okay. But he was banished out to the point where nobody wanted him. Until one day he ran into Ishu. Ishu grabs him up and says, I'm going to do you a solid. Let's go to Orula. Something I didn't tell you, so rewind a little bit. Before he was banished, it was the people of that land that stripped him with his from his caracoles. They stripped him of his wealth. They stripped him of everything. They just didn't want anything to do with him. They found him to be a very cursed and disgusted person. So they made it absolutely impossible for him to do anything other than just go off and die. So when Ishu got him, took him to Orula, right? Orula looks at Ishu and says, Alawana, you're always putting me in these positions. So what better way? Orula will never turn somebody away. Which is a good topic for some other time, but Babalaos shouldn't be turning nobody away. I get it. Sometimes Babalaos get frustrated because they feel like they're constantly just being abused. Because people come up and say, hey, I need this, I need that, I don't have money, I can't do that. And a lot of us have great hearts. A lot of Babalaos, we don't care about the money. But at a certain point, all we're doing is exhausting our own Ocha. And a lot, for the most part, we help to the point where we can't help anymore, and we go backwards. And we got to be very careful about it. It's a very delicate balance. But anyway, Orumila, the story for Babalu Aye helps him. Iretecana comes out. Okay, you've been disobedient. You gotta do X, Y, and Z. You gotta do it. Boom. Okay. San Lázaro heard the consejo, heard the advice. Did the boom. Borula also told him, you need to leave. You need to go to the land of Arara. Okay? So he went to the land of Arara. Okay? And when he got there, this was a land where there was no faith. There was nobody that was really running with a spiritual urge. This wasn't a spiritual based village or no. He just went to a different land. Okay? Time out. That's something very important. So before he left on his journey to go to this new land, Ishu is the one who gave him 2 dogs to accompany him, knowing that his journey will be lonesome, knowing that there will be no one there to help him. Okay? Now you know why San Lázaro always has 2 dogs with him. It's all coming together, right? It's our tradition. These are our oral traditions, okay? Our stories. So in Napatagi, he goes on to the next land. Boom, he becomes king because they now know that he's there to help. Okay? Olofi blessed him for taking the advice of Orula. Okay? Now, There's more to San Lázaro or Babalu Aye, but those are some of the characteristics. Okay, but think about the story. Okay, the Pataki itself. That Pataki tells you that someone who was disobedient, someone who did not listen, ends up being cursed at the end of the day. Okay, and I'm talking about cursed to the point where he could barely walk. He's full of leprosy and disease and sickness, and it is what it is. Okay, Babalu Aye. Okay, that's what he is. Okay, he's basically at the end of the day the Orisha of sickness. But with sickness comes cure. Food for thought, guys. Food for thought. Balance, okay? Balance. Think about that for a minute. Orula blessed him for taking the advice, which means that there is no one mistake. This is not a one mistake faith. Okay, people are gonna make mistakes. You'll be punished. Okay, if you make the wrong mistake, we gotta take our lickings and keep going. And that's what Babalu Aye did. That shows character. A lot of character. Babalu Aye is a warrior. Don't nobody forget that. That Orisha is a warrior. Olofi elevated Babalu Aye. Okay? Because of the actions of going from disobedient and taking that beating, taking all the disease, to listening to advice, following the spiritual path given to him by Orula. Okay? And carried on and did great. But not only did he do that, right? Babalu Aye is also the right-hand man to Olofi. And how did he get there? Wow. They say in the traditions, the devil himself, right? And we don't have to say devil. Devil has a connotation that's very close to Christianity and stuff. And I'm not trying to get into that deep debate. But we'll say a figure, okay? We'll say a figure. Ilinini, no, probably not. But we'll call it Abita just for kicks and grins, okay? And he talks to Olofi and says, you don't have anyone that's worthy or who will not renounce you in the faith on earth. So there's another Pataki that talks about that. And it was Abita himself that took all the riches away, that continued to throw plague and disease on top of Babalu Aye. I mean, just made life miserable for him, right? Took away everything and anything, okay? To the point where Babalu Aye, as tough as nails as he is, still did not renounce. I mean, he was laid to nothing. And Olofi ensured that he received everything back because Abita failed. That is passion. That is spirituality. That is Babalu Aye. Okay. So Babalu Aye is very close to the sick people. Babalu Aye is constantly looking for gratification, a very helpful Orisha, okay? But do not get it twisted. Babalu Aye is a warrior, okay? A loving Orisha, but also a warrior, okay? Babalu Aye will cure you because he has the secrets. He knows what the diseases are, okay? Food for thought. Food for thought. Okay. His feast day in December, guys. In December. Okay. Depending on where you are in the world, South America, Cuba, the United States, Africa, regardless, there will be a feast day for him. And it's important that depending on the Ile and the house that you represent, typically it's just by region, right? So we talk about Cuba in the United States, it's the same thing. When they do representations of feast days, South America does things differently. When we talk about Argentina, Brazil, and then we talk about Africa, and they do their own thing. Okay, but I want to talk about Babalu Aye because to me that's a very revered, a very important Orisha with many connections to Osai. Okay, many connections to Olofi. And when I said that's Olofi's right hand man, when they need to get the job done and they need to motivate, it's Babalu Aye Oloficens. Okay? With that said, that is my 10-minute spiel on Babalu Aye. Okay? What a phenomenal, beautiful Orisha. Mafarafun Babalu Aye. Iburu, Iboya Bucheche.